welcome all and a warm welcome to our new members also out over here. Yes, so this was our theme for this year's annual event. It's all up from here, and let us all move together, go up together. Dipti, next slide.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, acha, okay. So, the vision of the Real Women Global Community is to be a global community, of course, that encourages, empowers, and enriches women in construction and allied industries. So, these are the three E's which are very important for us, and I believe we are moving in the right direction. We have got a mission to promote higher engagement of women in construction, and not only we are doing it through this group, but we are also doing a lot of other activities, trying to engage with companies and thinking about how we can increase the footprint or the women in the construction industry. Next slide, please. Yeah, the objectives are learning and development. We this today's knowledge session is also a part of this L&D activity where we are creating opportunities. Recent Abhi just some time back, Grishma talked about what she has done. We are starting mentoring one big program, She Guides Today. So we are launching She Guides Today. We are collaborating and executing projects together. Sheetal shared a story about how she went, she and Raji. Raji, hi Raji. Good morning. Uh,
Hi, how are you all? Good morning.
she and Raji are working with another member of ours, and they're doing a project together. Many of us are working together. So yes, we will continue doing that, and we are celebrating and recognizing women in the group and across too. Yes. Next slide, please. We are having a presence in 18 cities, and the current statistics are that more than 110 members, so precisely 112 members, and more than 250 members in the open group. So a big hand for all of us. Let's grow together. Next slide. Yeah. So diverse areas of expertise, we all know about it. We are coming from different backgrounds. We are coming from different professional experiences and everything. So, but yes, I can proudly say that we have got all expertise under one umbrella. And let's move ahead together. Let's add if anything is missing. Next slide. So we are the core team. For any queries, you can reach out to us. So Sheetal is our president, and all other of us are trying to, double hat some certain activities. We are expanding over here also. So please wait for a few more announcements. Next slide. So over to you, Parul.
So yes, thank you so much, Amita. And as mentioned, we are going to welcome our new members. But before that, I just want to say a very good morning to everyone. And I'm very happy that today our attendance is a really a good number we have in attendance. Like every time we are increasing with our attendance, and that's a very good sign of that the TRWGC is in spreading across 18 cities. And we are looking for Amita ka question tha कि what is your goal for this year. So I think TRWGC goal is adding more and more members. And today we are going to welcome few new members here. And I'm starting with Roshni. So as Roshni mentioned, she has some doctor appointment. So Roshni, can you please introduce yourself to the group?
Yeah, hi. I'm architect Roshni, and I've been in Roshni Yehuda. I've been in academics for most of my life, from 2002 to 2017. I was head of the postgraduate department of environmental architecture in Rachna Sansad's Academy of Architecture, and then since then I have been sort of independently consulting with various people, and now I have my own practice called RUA Eco Spaces, which is based in Mumbai. And we are doing various types of sustainable architecture design consultancy projects, pan India as well as in different parts of the world now. So I'm very happy to be part of this group, and looking forward to more meetings and personally meeting all of you. It's a real pleasure. I was part of the TRWA Awards, and was very, very inspiring to see so many successful women in the construction field. So thank you for I'm now a member. So thank you for taking me as part of this group.
Thank you so much, Roshni, and welcome to TRWGC. I will be next calling Sarika. Sarika, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarika. I'm a basic civil engineer.
Sarika, you are not audible.
Yeah, you are not audible, Sarika. Can you speak a little bit loudly or come closer?
Good morning, everyone. Is it okay?
Yes, Sarika, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sarika. I am BTech Civil. 17 years experience in construction industry, project monitoring and tendering. I worked lots of projects on metros and buildings, high-rise buildings. So I'm very thank you to all of you giving me opportunity to part of this team. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sarika, and welcome to TRWGC. I'm next calling upon Bhavani Mohan. Yes, Bhavani, can you go ahead, please?
Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Bhavani Mohan, and I'm Chief Architect in L&T Construction. So I take care of the public spaces, which deals with high-speed rail, which is the bullet train project spanning Mumbai, Ahmedabad currently. And I used to, take care of airport projects before this. So public space architecture is my core domain. I'm so happy to be here. I mean, I met Sheetal in that Femtech 2024, and that's how our association started. It has grown stronger and stronger. Now I have such a big community, and I'm very happy to be with all you guys. And I want to see how the journey goes forward. Very looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Bhavani, and definitely your journey will be full of colors with us. Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
yeah, and next I'm calling upon Jamila. Jamila, can you please go ahead?
Yeah, happy morning, all. It's nice to see your beautiful faces on a Saturday morning. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Actually, me too, my journey also started. Actually, I came to know about TRW, that awards through Sheetal ma'am in that Femtech 2024, and I just applied for it. And then again, in this March 8th, 2025, I received an award, and then that's how the connection started. And actually, I felt very happy on seeing such a wonderful crowd of women in construction industry in this forum. So I like to be part of this community as well. And I am from HVAC background. I am also working in L&T construction, and particularly having expertise in hospitals. All the projects I do, and as well as particularly in expertise in recent years, I have done like AIMS and then Patna, like there's so many hospitals I'm involved in it. So that's how I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to grow up this community, and also I like to contribute also to this community. Thank you so much for this beautiful opportunity. Thanks.
My Jamila, and is Ashwini there? Okay, Priyanka. Sorry. Puneet.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Hi.
Puneet, please go
Uh,
ahead with your introduction.
Sure. So I'm an architect. I graduated from KRVI in Mumbai in 1997. So I've been practicing for about 28 years now, and work with mostly international brands, F&B, retail, edutainment, and we also do a lot of work overseas. In fact, most of my current work is overseas. And I have now, since I've been, doing a lot of work, I've got into mentoring. I write, and teaching has become a passion for me. I'm also getting into a little bit of art history research, which is something that I always wanted to do. And I've known Sheetal for a long, long time. And I am so, so proud. And I want to take this opportunity to, express, how happy and proud I am of having known Sheetal. I think she's put together this wonderful platform and like no other. And I'm here to, I just want to say this out aloud. I'm here to help with this. Anybody at any point needs anything that, I can support, please do let me know. So I'm going to, end this and just want to say that I'm very, very happy and excited to be here and, looking forward to this.
Thank you so much, Puneet, and we are equally excited to welcome to here.
Thank you.
So Bhakti is there? Amita Gore? Okay. Tavneet? Sarita?
Good morning.
Yes, Sarita, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sarita.
Hello, girls. This is Sarita More from Kapas Consultancy Engineering Services. My company is Pune-based company. I'm a MEP consultant. We are working for all government and private projects for the MEPF, rather electrical plumbing, firefighting, and HVAC complex design. We are providing a single head solution to the same. To many projects and looking forward to with you all girls. I'm not only finding the business opportunities in this group, but I'm finding some friends also. So I'm very excited to be with you all in this particular journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarita, and welcome to TRWGC. And we are a friend, more than a friends, we are a family here. So next, I would like to call upon Kasturi.
Really, I'm looking for the same. Yes.
Is there? Vanita? Okay, so I just would like to welcome all these members who are not here from TRWGC and from the team, entire team. And have I missed anyone from this slide? If anyone is there and if I have missed anyone. Okay, so over to you, Amita.
Yeah, so just before going ahead to the next slide, I would be like to share that out of these new members, 3 have also opted to become mentors for our program. So it's so exciting to see people joining the group and adding value to it further. Yeah. So next slide, Dipti. So yes, knowledge sessions, which is a part of our monthly meets. Basically, we have done a lot of sessions, be it ChatGPT, be it how to handle your LinkedIn, be it negotiation skills, money matters. So these are not only the soft skills, but we are also taking sessions on technical skills too. Next slide, please. So like all our landscape architects presented about their secrets about landscape designing. We had a session by Ankita on 3D printing. Ankita, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah. So we had a session by Ankita on 3D printing. We also had fun sessions like makeup sessions and jewelry and styling. And this will continue. This will going ahead. One big announcement is that we are changing the pattern of our monthly meets. So 1 month we will be having a knowledge session, and the second month, so alternate month, we'll be having a networking session. And even in networking sessions, there are going to be a lot of fun and small discussion groups. And also, please keep your group ready and be ready for this all fun sessions, which will be rolled out soon. Next slide, please. So apart from online, we are doing a lot of offline knowledge sharing too. So we have visited many places in the last couple of years, and we are also looking out for good avenues, or rather we are discussing with many different people about what we can do more, where we can go, and we can enrich our experience and knowledge. So again, look out for this space for this year. We are trying to have many more surprises. Sonali, you would like to say anything? Sonali, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
So we are planning industrial visits in different cities where our members are. And in fact, we are also looking at a couple of fun tours combined with some learning where we don't have members. So anybody has suggestions, most welcome. Where do you think we should go? But definitely going to have at least 6 to 8 visits in the whole year.
Yes. So for any suggestions, you can get in touch with Sonali about, the visits basically. Next slide. We started with Cheelids. We had 6 sessions in the last year. We are going to continue with this, but again, we are changing the pattern and we are going to do it once in 2 months. So the next session of Cheelids will be in the month of May. Next slide, please. Oh, okay. So I guess Aditi forgot to put this slide. So we are launching She Guides today. After this session, we are going to have another session with our North Stars. Those are our mentors. With our trailblazers, our mentees, and the angels. So the facilitators who are going to help in this. We got an overwhelming response. You'll not believe. We had actually thought of only having 6 teams, 6 pairs for mentoring and for mentoring purpose, but we increased it to 9, and actually we had to force a few of our people, to become mentors, to take on additional responsibilities. So watch out for this space more, and we had to say no to a couple of mentees, and we'll ensure that they will be the first preferred in the next batch. Next slide, please. Dipti, next slide. Oh, it's there. It's there. Okay, next slide. Yeah. So this is our star-studded batch 1, which we are starting today. So you will see a lot of known faces, and you will also see some unknown faces. But yes, we will keep you posted about the progress what we are doing. Next slide, please. Over to you, Anshul.
Thank you so much. So can I have that slide for, okay, She Builds, right. It's already there. For a second, guys, just see what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to find out whom to put the spotlight on. My God, all of you are actually deserving much more than this. And TRW actually starts with another very good initiative wherein you're putting the spotlight on one specific person. So She Builds 2025 starts as a new initiative, which is led by VP Yogini Phadke. I'm really glad to assist her for this initiative, wherein what we are actually trying to do here is we are going to put spotlight on one person. Yes, my friend, one person in a week. So we are trying to highlight you. We are trying to take you places. Can we just go to the next slide also where we have the categories? So what we are trying to do, we'll be giving themes per week and per month. And as per the themes, we will identify spotlights on specific people working in those themes, and we will be giving special weightage. So what one person here is doing, that will be highlighted to a different level to all of you. Minded friends, not all of you, but we are going to take it wider and wider and wider. And of course, your work, your project, what you are actually building. That is why the word She Builds come into place. What you're actually building will be highlighted in a very special way. So friends, wait for our form. We are just trying to share a Google form with all of you. We tried connecting to 2-3 people saying that start sharing the data and we'll be starting the spotlight, but we got the responses, oh, it's too quick to ask for, how do we identify, kahan se leke aaye, abhi kuch mil nahi raha hai. Friends, if you're doing this, you miss a chance. Probably looking at the member connectivity and quantity of members coming here, your number comes after 112. So don't miss the chance.
take that minute, take that hour, I would say, to write this very properly and shared with us. And we are all here to put the right spotlight on you. All the best. Thank you.
A fantastic initiative. So next slide, Dipti. We have tentatively put together a schedule for the next 4 months. You will see that there are a lot of sessions. You'll also see the pattern which is coming out, where we are having the upskilling, the L&D program, which will be happening once every 2 months. Same way for networking, once every 2 months. Engagement, there are going to be, because it's very hot and we don't want to meet offline. So there are a couple of engagement activities planned during April and May. This we will also put it on the group, so you can just block your dates. Next slide, please, Dipti. Yeah, so over to you, Avni.
Yes. So, good morning, lovely ladies. I'm thrilled to share with you the power of collaboration and community. As Amita already mentioned, how wonderfully we are collaborating here. So, when women come together, amazing things happen. We have seen it time and time again in the group. By working together, supporting each other, and giving business to one another, we create success stories that inspire and motivates us all. I would like to give some few examples. There are many success stories, girls, which will be shared here on the group time and time. But a few of them are like me and Aditi worked together on a Reliance corporate house project. So it was a great learning experience for both of us, as well as it was a business coming together. Kushbu introduced to me, Megha and Binjan to her clients, and we are now working together, expanding our network and opportunities in the same group. And when we are working in the same group, it's a different feeling. So these are few of the examples. I am sure that we all are going to create more and more success stories here, and together we can achieve great things. So let's keep pushing our boundaries, explore new opportunities, and celebrate each other's success. Next slide, please. Yes. So today is the era of collaboration. So we are excited to announce that TRW has signed MOUs with several esteemed organizations and societies. So these collaborations opens new doors and opportunities to all of us, where we can share our knowledge and expertise at different platforms. We are given visibilities at various platforms. So recently, MEP Conclave Goa, there was a special panel discussion happened where only TRW members were there, and we were able to share our views to the technical crowd over there. So basically, we gain special visibility there. We participate in the esteemed event. We can expand our professional network through all these MOUs, and I'm sure many more MOUs are coming over. So you can see on the slide, we have already done MOUs with ISHRE, MEP Conclave, FSAI, and many more organizations. So these partnerships will undoubtedly enhance our growth and exposure, and we are proud to be part of this journey. Next slide, please. Yes. So I'm sure I don't have to repeat this, that what are the membership benefits. Based on our discussion, you all know that this is not only platform to expand our business, but with this we can enhance our personal and professional growth in all terms. So we have access to the recorded sessions, whatever happens, knowledge sessions, as well as the grooming sessions, or by which we can expand our business. So there are free and discounted access to various events, opportunities to join mentorship schemes, and the new program which is started, She Built, which is a wonderful opportunity to portfolio your work to this wonderful community. We can have support and network of all the powerful women, and trust me, I mean, when we work together, when we support each other, you will definitely get your dream referral or dream project which you want. So I welcome you all. I'm sure that our membership number, which is 112 now, is going to increase soon to 3 digits, and let's all work together for the same. Thank you. This is all from my side.
Next slide, please. So over to Shefali. Shefali, would you like to introduce our speaker for the day?
Sure. Thank you. Hi everyone. Good morning and welcome to the session. First of all, it's as a member now, I think second year running, or probably not even that. It looks like as if I've known the TRWC group forever. The warmth and the welcome that I've received, and the is really something that I've not been able to form. Having been well associated with real estate industry for the last 25 years. So really thank you for the entire founding team to have formed this platform for us to develop a tribe of our own. Right. On that note, I think this is also a great opportunity for me to introduce a friend, and a very close friend, I should say, my own personal North Star and moral compass, and a colleague, a close colleague, Kusuma Maligappa, to this group. She is a woman par excellence, a lovely human soul, before being an exemplary qualified financial professional. She's been associated with Divishri for, I think, now 10, 12 years. I think at some time we lose count of number of years that we spend in a company. She is, I think I wouldn't, without really getting into a lot of details, all I could say is that she is a unique mix of not only knowledge about financial world, and financial world is quite detailed, has quite many number of subsets, but what she brings to the table is also an amazing acumen and capability of understanding the business needs, aligning the financial goals, and recalibrating and presenting all of it to meet the corporate goal. Right. So that, I think, is an amazing skill set that Kusma gets on the table. She is one of the most loved team leader by her team. And she also, apart from our construction team, our finance team is the second largest team in terms of number of team members. And she is equally loved by all her team members, liked, looked up to, whichever word you want to say. And also, let me also tell you that please don't go by her meek appearance. She can climb a mountain, move a mountain, and do anything to the mountain she wants to if she puts her head to it. Right? So welcome all, Kusma. And she today, we all look forward to listening from you about the things that you love the most, the numbers.
Yeah, thank you, Shafali, for that introduction. Though it was very in-depth, I don't know whether I stand up to that or not. I really thank you for giving me an opportunity to present myself to all the members herein, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to have this knowledge session today. Thanks for that introduction, Shivali. Hope whatever I say.
You are on mute, Kusma.
Sorry. So hope whatever I share today will be of some small use for the gathering here. They'll carry something, some insight or something, some knowledge from this session. Can I start the session?
Yes, please go ahead. The stage is yours.
Thank you. So I'll just put up can I share my screen? I think it says host disabled.
I guess the presentation has been incorporated in this. Deepthi, can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So Kusuma, you can tell her, and then she will move to the next slide as and when you require it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So today I was told to speak about basically profit and loss account. Okay, so a basic understanding of what do you mean by a profit and loss statement. So that is what the aim of it. Before we get on to profit and loss statement, so let us understand the basics of financial statements. Can you move to the next slide, please? In this whole statement of profit and loss, I've just divided the slides into 4 parts. One is understanding the financial statement itself, what are its objectives, and how do you segregate the elements of financial statements, and what is statement of profit and loss, and we will try to understand a profit and loss statement with an example. That is how I have structured this presentation. It will be very simple. It can be an interactive session. I would love if any one of you get any doubt or want to put up any questions in between the session also, you're always welcome to stop me and ask questions. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, what do you mean by financial statement? So you might be hearing about financial statements through and through. What is your impression about a financial statement? Would anyone like to answer this? Okay, so financial statements, when you talk about a financial statement, there are three major statements that come to mind. One is the balance sheet, second one is the profit and loss account, and third one is the cash flow statements. These three statements form an integral part of financial statement. They talk about the financial health, the financial performance of an enterprise, of a business. Each one makes certain representation of what a business is comprised of, like, and those are called as the elements of the financial statement. Now, elements of the financial statements are basically categorized into five parts. One is an asset, the other one is a liability, third one is equity, fourth one is income or revenue, fifth one is expenses. Now, these five elements are categorized again into two broad categories, which you can see in the presentation also. The assets, the liabilities, the equities form part of the balance sheet category. Income and expenses form part of the profit and loss category. The movement within these balance sheet elements and the movement within the income, profit and loss elements put together give you the cash flow statement that give an analysis of what was the bank balance or the cash balance of the organization at the beginning of the period, what and all activities, cash flow activities did the enterprise or the business do during the period, and as at the year end, what is the cash flow balance that the entity is possessing. So all these are covered in the cash flow statements. So what we learned, financial statement majorly comprises of three statements. One is the balance sheet, second one is the profit and loss account, third one is the cash flow statement. And how do we make these three categories of the statements? With the help of five elements. The five elements are the assets, the liabilities, and the equity, income, and the expenses. Assets, liabilities, equities form part of the balance sheet. Income and expenses form part of the profit and loss statement. The movement that happens in all these five elements are getting captured in the cash flow statements. That's the broad segregation of a financial statement. And financial statement helps us to understand what is the financial position of a business organization, what has been the performance of the business organization, what had been the cash flow position of a financial of a business organization. Now, how does this financial statement help various stakeholders? Who and all can use this financial statements? So majorly, it's investors who will use the financial statement for making an investment decision. Most of you are well versed and maybe key players in the markets also. You might be doing small investments, large investments in the markets. So markets are considered to be a gambling place as well, but there are who know certain basic elements of the financial statements will be in a position to make an informed investments into the markets so that they are protected with the uncertainties and the risks that are associated with the market space. So it's very important whether women or anyone who is into the world of business have some basic knowledge about the financial statements. So financial statements will help all the investors to make any kind of investment decision. It will help their investment decision. Now there are lenders, bankers who provide loans to the business enterprises. So it's a combination that a business has to look up at how much of debt component they should take for their business growth objectives, and also how much of the equity that they have to pour in into the business objectives. So to meet the business objectives, right? So for the lenders also to make a decision as to how much they can lend to any business enterprises, it depends on the analysis of the financial statements. Apart from the investors and the lenders, there are other members also who could read the financial statements and make an informed decision. Like it could be employees, they would like to see how there is a growth story embedded in a business organization to make a decision of their association with the business organization. Similarly, the creditors, in the world where you are procuring materials and then trading on the materials or utilizing it for your manufacturing purposes, you always look at managing your working capital requirements. And when the creditors, trade creditors give you certain credit period, it will help you to structure your working capital requirement in a much efficient way. So the creditors also to comfort themselves that they have surety of receipt of payment after certain days for them to extend the credit period to the business organization, they would like to look at your financial statements. If the financial statements give a healthy position, we'll come to that. How do they ascertain and all? If it indicates a healthy cash flow position, they are very happy to extend that credit benefits to the business organization. Apart from the other investors, lenders, employees, creditors, there are your customers, the government also look up your financial statements for various their needs to determine their needs, right? So hope the team is clear on what is financial statement, what are its objectives, who and all can be the users of the financial statements. Financial statement comprises of what kind of structured information portals like balance sheet, profit and loss account, and cash flow statement. And what are the elements that make these three statements, which are integral part of the financial statements? Any questions? Can we move to the next slide, please? Okay, so it's the last slide. Probably it was more of English. I don't know if everyone was able to associate with each of the line that I was trying to explain. So I thought, let me explain this to a specific example. And simple example, this is a very basic understanding of the profit and loss. So it's a very simple example. I'm just trying to elaborate. Now let us take an example that there is one Miss A who is an architect. It could be any profession. The example mainly talks about a service oriented person or service oriented business. So we are trying to analyze the expenditure that are there associated with this service offering of the business enterprise. Now A is an architect. Say she starts her business. Here it's mentioned as June. For all our rest of the example, please consider it as April 24. So why April 24 I have considered? Just to have a 12 months period of the financial year. In India, the financial year starts from April every year and ends in the March next year. So April to March is considered as the financial year. So assume A started a business. She's an architect. She started her business of architect consultancy in April 24. Kindly read it as April 24. And say she had been working earlier and she had some 10 lakhs of savings. She brought in that money to start her business. Her father also gave her some 10 lakhs to start the business. She wanted to do it as a proprietary concern. Now, based on her experience and based on her clientele base, she feels that she has to set up an office. She also goes to a bank and any financial institution, or it could even be a hand loan from relatives, friends, anyone. So she takes certain loans of rupees 30 lakh. Now to start the business, she has to rent a space. It could be a co-working space or it could be any office space. To start that office, she has to give certain deposits. Usually these are the refundable deposits. So say about 2 lakh is given as the deposit. She also has to set up the office with furniture, fixtures, interiors, and then say computers, basic requirements, whatever is required to set up the office. So say she spends about 10-20 lakhs towards this interior setups and the core equipments that are required for the office to start. Every month she's hired this space, she's taken on rentals this space, so she has to pay rentals of say 40,000 rupees per month, and she has to spend on office stationery, utilities, housekeeping cost, office maintenance cost, security charges, and say she has to commute, she of used rented cars for say 3 months, and then she purchased a vehicle also somewhere in between the year based on the development of her business. She also has hired certain assistants who can help her out with the assignments that she gets. So she also has to pay a salary of say 50,000 rupees or so, and then incur certain salary cost. Now, this is basic expenditures that are happening while setting up the business. Hope you got a idea of what is the numbers that I'm talking about. Now, we'll have to try and analyze each of these spends that we have spoken about in this example, where exactly in the elements that I spoke about in the earlier slide, where do they fit in? So just to refresh, what are the elements that we spoke about of the financial statement? Assets, liabilities, equity, income, and expenses. Now, each of these line items, let us try and see where exactly we can fit in these amounts under which financial element. When we are able to fit in, identify what each element represents, we can draw our own balance sheet and profit and loss account easily. Okay, can I go to the next slide, please? Now, I just divided this example into two parts, part A and part B. Part A mostly focused on the spends, the payments. And initially it spoke about the receipts. The receipts were in the form of her own savings, her father's support, and there was certain loan amount. These were the receipts, and rest everything we saw were the expenditure, the various nature of expenditures that were paid for. Now in part B we are talking about the income part. So we are seeing that she gets a design order for the building and she quoted about 30 lakh because it was a first assignment of her. She also gave a discount of 10% on the quoted fee. So this is on her income part. Can we move to the next slide, please? So now, having seen the example, now each of the line item, let us segregate, identify which element it fits into, where it gets categorized into. Before that, we need to get a basic understanding of what do you mean by each of these elements. What do you mean by an asset? What do you mean by an liability? What do you mean by an equity, income, or expenses? Hearing. Okay, now what is an asset? An asset is something which has a future economic benefits, whose benefits are driven for a longer period, and it has a value realization in future. Most of the assets will have a value appreciation, whereas there could be assets which will have a depreciated value also over a period of time. The way we identify is it does not get completely exhausted. The benefits does not get exhausted in the same year when it is purchased, or it doesn't become a sunk cost. Then it becomes or attains a category of an asset. Similarly, liability is something which we owe in the form of a debt or payables to outsiders or the third parties. Equity is the difference between the assets and liabilities. It is basically a promoter's contribution into the business organization. Income is about the earnings out of the business. Out of doing the business, what you earn is called the revenue or the income. And to run this business or to run this get this income, you have to spend certain monies, and that you categorize it as expenses. Now, having understood the meaning of these 5 elements, from the example, let us try and see each of these line items, where do we really fit in. So, first statement that we made is Miss A is an architect. She wanted to start her business and she has an 10 lakh savings that she wants to put into the business to start as capital. So 10 lakh that she puts in is shown as the capital contribution and it is categorized under equity. Now this equity is further categorized in the balance sheet line item. Okay, it's a balance sheet line item and it is shown as an equity contribution. Similarly, her father gave some funds. It could be a gift, it could be even a money on a returnable basis. This also we can consider it as either loan or capital contribution, gift from the father, and take it as a capital contribution, and that also forms part of the equity itself. Now A takes loan from a bank, financial institution, relative, third parties, friend circle, anyone. That's about 30 lakh. That's also a liability. Now, why this is a liability? Because you have an obligation to repay this money as per the terms and conditions that is agreed between the third party. Now, this entire 50 lakhs, the first 3 line items we have seen are getting categorized under equity or liabilities in a balance sheet line item. Now, the next thing that she does is she identifies an office space. She has to pay upfront certain deposit for getting that office space. That amount is treated as an asset. Why it is an asset? Because at the time of vacation of the asset of the office, she will get back this money from the owner of that building, right? So it is having nature of getting it back. It has an economic value. Tomorrow, whenever she leaves the office, she will get back this money into her folds. So this is an asset that she will get back. It is not expenditure. It's not that it is a sunk cost. It will come back. It is refundable in the nature. Hence, we categorize this into asset line item, which is also a balance sheet line item. Now she spends a lot of money doing the interior, buying the furniture, fixtures, computers, doing interior designs, everything to make the office attractive and also a better place of work so that she can concentrate and she can do her business for ease of the operations. Now, all these are also categorized as fixed assets. They have certain economic value because as and when she decides that she will wind up the business, she can realize some or the other amounts from these interiors. Mostly it will be a depreciated value because it would have been used for certain period of time. Hence, this is categorized under asset and it is not considered as an expenditure immediate. If you have to really call it as an expenditure, it is also called as a capital expenditure. Now, expenditure has 2 categories. One is called capital expenditure, the other one is called revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure is mostly in the form of assets creation, which will have an economic value. It does not extinguish the moment you have spent it. It will come back to you in the future period as and when it has to be realized. So that's how this gets into the category of asset. So first we have seen in the example the first 5 line items of receipts and payments. The first 3 line items, which is savings, introduction into the business, gift, introduction into the business, and a loan that is borrowed. These 3 are considered as equity or the liabilities, and whatever is done for the setup of the business in the form of giving of deposits and acquisition of the capital assets are considered as asset line items. We can move to the next slide, please. Okay. You can also see that the totals are being carried forward just to have a continuity of the receipts and payments that we are talking about. Now we spoke about lot of expenditure that she has to pay for running this business activity. Now, if we see the period of April to March, how much of amounts that she kept on spending over that period, under what line items, we are just trying to segregate that. All these are called as operating or revenue expenditure, which are minimum required to be spent by the person for running the business, irrespective of whether there is an income earning or not. For the sustainability of the business, these are minimum expenditures that will have to be incurred. For example, the office setup has been done in a rented space. Monthly rentals have to be paid. So 40,000 per month for the annual period, 1 year period, it becomes 4.8 lakhs. Similarly, there are printing, stationery, postages. It could be even marketing materials, right? She's printing on the brochures, or she's even taking certain memberships in community groups like yours. All these are her regular expenditure, which will help for her business to sustain and grow. So these expenses, stationery expenses, utility, housekeeping, security charges, office expenses, salaries and wages, vehicle repairs and maintenance expenses, car hiring charges, transportation expenses. There could be staff welfare expenditure. There could be many line items. In the example, we saw few of them, and all these are required for running the business over the period, specified period, and all these are categorized as expenses, mostly revenue expenses, and hence they feature in the profit and loss account statement under the element expenses. Clear? Any further explanation is required, or you have any doubts also, please you can ask questions.
Kusuma, I actually put it in the chat box. So, if there are expenses towards
Yeah.
creating assets, so like, you are giving design fees for the fit outs for your office work. So, is it better to expense it out, or like, should it be considered as a part of the assets?
It's considered as part of the assets only. So when I mentioned furniture, fixtures, interiors, all these are having usage value beyond 1 year period. Okay, and throughout the business period you will be able to sustainably use these assets. Hence, you can categorize it as a capital expenditure, and it shall form part of your assets only, and it is not part of your revenue expenditure. So for example, the rent, let me just bifurcate this. Say you paid rental for the 12-month period. It is spent, it is incurred. You will not get this back for the reason that you have paid last one full year rentals. It's not that you will get a free usage of the space for the next period. It is a sunk cost, it is incurred for the operations of the business. So hence it is a revenue expenditure. While that interiors that you have done, if you have taken the leased space for say 3 years time, for the entire 3 years time you will not often go on changing your interiors. It can sustain and remain within the business unit for 3 years time, so its longevity is much more. And when you are leaving the office space, say you are going to sell this to one more business enterprises, and then you value this at certain depreciated value, and you can hive this off. So not only furniture and fixtures, for the interiors that you have carried out also you can put a value to it, right? So hence these are categorized as capital expenditure and shall form part of the assets only.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead, go ahead. Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, can you move to the next slide please? Okay. So there was a small twist in what example we tried to narrate. We said for first 3 months, the entrepreneur tried to use commute through a hired vehicle, and there was car rentals that were being paid, which were shown as revenue expenditure. Now, having set up the business and probably seeing some incomes also coming in, a vehicle was purchased. So this vehicle that is purchased, the cost of it is shown as a capital asset only, and it shall be forming part of the asset. However, the running and maintenance expenditure of this vehicle, the petrol cost, diesel cost, or the regular repairs and maintenance cost of this vehicle shall be forming part of your revenue expenditure because it is incurred for that period for which it belongs to. While the asset will have a longer life and it shall form part of the asset category. Now, we spoke about bank loan or any loan for that matter that shall carry certain interest to be serviced on a monthly or on a periodic basis. That's how you would have worked out the financial arrangements with the lender. So all these amounts that you have to pay it as interest to the banker or to the lender shall be shown as revenue expenditure, and it will form part of the profit and loss account expenditure element. Now we also saw that she got an order for rupees 30 lakh. Now a question, and she also, because it was a first order, she gave a discount of 10%, right? 30 lakh with 10% discount is 3 lakh. Hence the net revenue that she booked or the fee that she got for doing her services for the period was about 27 lakh. 30 lakh minus 3 lakh. Now, categorization of 30 lakh into income does not arise. You'll always have to reduce the discount that's been offered for getting the business, and net of discounts is what will be shown as the income. So that is forming part of the income element. Now, we saw that there was a heavy capital and loan that was introduced into the business to the tune of 50 lakh in our example. After doing all the receipts and payments accounting, 50 lakhs came into the bank account. From 50 lakhs, there were a lot of spends that were made towards deposits, towards furniture fixture purchase, vehicle purchase. Throughout the year, certain revenue expenses were incurred. After making all those payments, also getting the income of 27 lakhs, after making the payment of the interest to the lender, the available bank balance was about 11 lakh 8,240 rupees. And also because this balance was there in the bank account, the banker also provides you certain interest that is considered as the income, and that is also shown as the under the income category. So I just would request all of you to just look at the total in the slide. So you will see when we completed this financial year recording of all the receipts and payments as per our example, we saw there is an asset worth of 58 lakh 8,240 rupees, which is there in the business. There is a liability of 50 lakhs rupees, which is there in the business. There were total expenditure of 19 lakh 29,000 incurred during the period, and there is an income of 27 lakh 37,240 rupees earned by the business during the period. Now, you might be knowing in a business, in a balance sheet, whenever it is presented, it is called balance sheet because it is always balanced. The balances of the assets and the liabilities are always equal. If they're not equal, then it is not complete balance sheet. So you will see that there is a difference here. Now we'll have to carry out certain adjustment, certain elements from the profit and loss account have to move to balance sheet to balance this out or to reconcile this. This we will see in the next slides. Can I move to the next slide, please?
So one question over here, which has come up in the chat box, is that what about the depreciation?
Yeah, I'll come to that.
Okay.
So now the first 2 slides or 3 slides that we compiled based on the example were basically the receipts and payments. Majorly, you have seen everything to do with your cutting of the checks and making receipt into your bank accounts. We haven't done any entries or we haven't shown anything to the effect which is done outside the bank account. So only when we do all those things, that adjustments are done in the profit and loss account, and then you will be arriving at the actual profits. And now I'll also explain to you when I do the show you the P&L account, what is the operating profit, what is the gross profits, what is the cash profit, and how do you reconcile your bank balances with actual profits that you would have earned. Now, you can move to the next slide, please. So we understood what is a financial statement. Financial statement comprise who and all can use the financial statement, and it comprises of three basic statements, which is the balance sheet, profit and loss account, and the cash flow statements. We have identified the 5 elements that are there forming part of the financial statements: assets, liabilities, equity, revenue, and the expenditure. We understood how do we categorize these elements into balance sheet and P&L account, and we also said the movements within all these things are forming part of your cash flow statement. Now we have done the receipts and payments. We have identified there is an income, there is an expenditure. How do you draw a profit and loss account? Just because that income and expenditure is there, is your profit and loss account statement complete? It is not so. There are certain non-cash adjustment or non-cash entries that will have to be given effect to draw the actual profit and loss account and to arrive at the actual profits or the losses. So while I was explaining to you on the capital expenditure and the capital assets category, I kept on telling asset usually means that has an economic value, realizable economic value in the future also. Now this realizable economic value could be an appreciated value, or could be the same value, or even it could be a depreciated value. So for example, we'll see all the 3 categories of it. Now, for example, the deposit of 2 lakh that was paid to the owner to get the office premises. This 2 lakh, say at the end of 3rd year when you are vacating the office premises, will be the same 2 lakh that will get refunded to you. There is no change in the value of that asset. It remains 2 lakh only. But it shall not be less or more. There could be adjustment of values. We'll not get into that. For our simplified understanding, 2 lakh shall come back to you at the time of vacation because it's a refundable deposit. Now we also have, say you made an investment, right? You made an investment into the stock market itself and you purchased certain scripts. Now those scripts, when you purchase, say you purchased it at 100 rupees. So the investment value of that script, say, was 1 lakh rupee. After 2 years, you sold those scripts, and then say you realized 2.5 lakh being that market value of those scripts at that point in time. Now, investment is an asset which has a realizable value in future, and here the realizable value increased at the end of the 2nd year. So an asset has the capability of realizing the same value. Example was deposit. Asset has the capability of realizing a higher value, say example investments. Now assets can also be having realizable value which is lesser than your actual value. Best example would be all these furniture, fixtures, or even say vehicle. Now you have purchased a vehicle, you have used it for 2 years, you purchased it for 20 lakhs. Do you think after 2 years you are going to get the same value of 20 lakh? No, you will get a lesser value, and say you will get 18 lakh. The difference of 2 lakhs is actually a depreciation or reduction in the value of the asset. So though we categorized it under assets category, now asset has all the 3 categorization of realizability, same value, increased value, as well as reduced value. So we have to be monitoring which category of asset it is and how the realization will happen in the future. So now, sticking on to our vehicle example, the value of depreciation, the value of reduction, we call it as depreciation. And in the financial statement presentation, whatever is ascertained decrease in the value of the asset will be charged off to the profit and loss statement, and that also will get categorized under the expenses bucket. Now, what is a profit and loss account statement? It is a summary of what is the revenue, what is the revenue expenditure that you incurred for a specified period. Now there are various kinds of profit recognition that can happen within the P&L statement. Can you just move to the next slide? I'll be able to explain this in that itself. Next slide, please. So in our example, we saw Miss A's statement of account. We saw how she got receipts and how she spent, what we categorized under the income and expenses element. Now, if I have to put it that in the form of a statement of profit and loss, this is how we look at it. Say, for example, her assignment fee was 30 lakh. After 10% discount, she actually earned 27 lakhs of income. This is from the operations, from the main business. So it is shown as revenue from the operations, which is 27 lakh. She had kept her money in the bank account. The bank account earned certain interest for the period. This is other income. This is not her main business, but it came as an ancillary amount, ancillary income. So 37,240. Hence, her total income for the review period is 27 lakh 37,240 rupees. So this is on the income side. Now, on the expenditure side, this is a very simplified form of presentation. Now, we said her staff salaries were paid because any services for that matter will have these employee benefits, salaries, wages, gratuity, staff welfare, anything of this. All these things will be forming part of the employee benefit expenses and categorized under the expenses. There was interest that was paid to the bank loan account, and hence that is showing as finance cost. Then this is the major portion of depreciation and amortization that you would see, which has been accounted for now. Now, what and all assets we spoke about? There were furniture, fixtures, and vehicles. All together, the total purchases that were made were about 45 lakh. Now there are various accounting bodies that they have prescribed what rate of depreciation that you have to use. Similarly, under Indian Income Tax Act also, there are certain depreciation rates that they have provided. Say, for example, for furniture and fixtures, it is 10%, computers it could be 1/3, and vehicle it could be 20%. Various slabs are there. We have to determine, and most of the proprietary concerns will go with the income tax rates of depreciation, and that has been calculated at say 10% and 15%, and it comes to about 5,75,000. So here you will see this is not a real cash flow spend that has happened, but this is accounting for the depreciated value of the assets that have been invested, and for a specific period it has been accounted under the profit and loss statement. Hope you got the answer as to what happens to the depreciation. It is accounted for in the profit and loss statement, and it is shown as expenditure, allowed as expenditure in your tax computations also. You need not write off the entire value of the assets. You have spent 45 lakhs for purchase of assets. You need not write off that entire thing as expenditure in your profit and loss statement and say there is a loss in the current financial year. It doesn't work like that. Because they have economic benefits which are extending beyond 1 year, they will be shown under capital asset. However, we have to recognize for their realizable values for that particular period which has got expired in the form of depreciation, and hence that is forming part of the expenses under the P&L statement. All other operational expenditures that we saw, housekeeping expenses, utility expenses, security expenses, vehicle repair, maintenance expenses, all those are categorized under other expenses. Now this total comes to say 25 lakh 4,000, 27 lakh 37,000 income, 25 lakhs of expenditure. So there is actual profit from the business of 2,33,240 rupees. Now this is called as the net profit from the business. There are certain other items that we'll have to discuss here. Operational revenue say is 27 lakh. the direct expenditure that has been incurred for the purposes of earning this revenue, say is 6 lakhs of employee benefits and say 10 lakh 59,000 of other expenses and 2 lakh 70,000 of the finance cost, then totaling to 19 lakh 29,000, you actually have an operating profit of 7 lakh 71,000. Your net profit is 2 lakh 33,000. If you add back the depreciation, you will get an operating profit of 7 lakh 71,000. There are certain other terms which are generally used and you might have heard about: EBITDA, earnings before interest, depreciation, and taxes. So EBITDA is arrived at, to arrive at the EBITDA, you will add net profit plus depreciation plus the finance cost. So that will give you what is the EBITDA, earnings before the interest cost. Who will be more interested to know about it? A lender will be more interested to know about it to determine how much of loan he can give, so that from your earnings, how much is the interest that can be serviced by the business towards the loan that is being borrowed. Okay, I think there are certain questions. If I could just
So
go to
there
the
is a
chat box.
question, Kusuma, gift received in savings account, is it free from taxes?
So this is a specific question from the income tax perspective. Gifts from relatives to an individual are exempted from any taxation under the income tax. So the conditions are, it has to be individual and it has to be received from a relative, and relative definitions are given under income tax. Who can be a relative? It could be your father, mother, in-laws, brothers, sisters. So like this, there is a big list of relatives that has been given. As long as you are receiving the monies from these relatives as gift to yourself, they are not out of the tax ambit.
So no component of asset is part of profit and loss statement. Asset keeps on increasing, only if some part of profit will be booked, right?
Asset, so that is the basic segregation that we'll have to see as to whether it is a capital asset or it is a revenue expenditure. So once you have categorized any item as an asset, how do you categorize it? Because it has a realizable value beyond 1 year period.
Okay.
It can sustain for an year, more than one, categorize it as asset. Now this asset realizable value can be all three kinds. It can fetch the same value like we saw in the example of deposit. It can fetch higher value like we saw in the example of investment. I can give other examples also. I'm just trying to keep it very simple for the understanding of all the audience. They are there in this session, right? Similarly, there could be assets which will also realize lesser value. Like we saw, vehicle, furniture, fixtures, all these assets will realize you lesser value when you have to go for disposals, and hence they can also be represented the depreciated value. And whenever there are certain reduction in the value of the assets, you will have to recognize it as a revenue expenditure, and that is where you will see this depreciation and amortization coming in the P&L account, which helps in determining the profit and loss. Now, from the tax perspective, what is the amount that will be offered for tax? Is this 2,33,240 and not 7,71,000, which is before the depreciation. The government allows you to claim the depreciated value of the assets as an expenditure in the profit and loss itself.
Any more questions, please?
Yeah.
Kusuma,
Shall we move to the next slide?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you can go to the next slide. Yes.
Yeah. So the basic thing that was missing in the earlier compilation of the receipts and payments, you would have observed that the asset value that was shown was 58 lakh 8,240, while the liabilities that was shown was 50 lakh. And the basic principle is your balance sheet should always be tallied. It should be pi to pi reconciled. However, we saw when we compiled the receipts and payments, the balance sheet was not tallying. That's mainly because there were two elements that we had to adjust or show it in the balance sheet that would make our balance sheet reconciled. Can I go to the next slide, please? I'll just finish that and come back to this, please. Now, we saw that the assets total in the receipts and payment sheet was 58 lakhs. We also saw that we have recognized a depreciated value of assets of 5,75,000, which has to be shown as a reduction in the assets value, and hence the net asset value shall stand corrected at 52,33,240. We also saw the liabilities and equity was at 50 lakh of receipts. However, we also saw from the profit and loss statement, there was 2,33,240 rupees of profit that we saw has to be added back to the promoter. This is actually the earnings by the business enterprises for having done the business in the ordinary course for a particular period. When we add this profit also to the capital account, then the net liabilities total becomes 52,33,240. Now, this is how the balance sheet gets reconciled, equated as at the end of a particular period. We can just go back to the previous slide. I've just attempted to do a reconciliation of the bank balance. Now, people will get confused. Say they in the earlier receipt and payment compilation, we saw that bank balance was 11,08,240. People might come back and say, is this 11 lakhs my profit? The answer is no. We have seen how we segregated the elements into balance sheet and P&L and how we arrived at the profit of 2,33,000 only. So profit is 2,33,000 and not 11,08,000. 11,08,000 is only your balance sheet bank balance, right? So now actual cash profit, if we have to see, 2,33,240 plus the depreciation, if we add back, we will identify what is our cash profit. Similarly, when we do an analysis of what and all capital receipts came into play, like the equity and the loans of 50 lakh, we spent on asset purchase of about 45 lakhs and deposit of 2 lakhs. So cash balance that was left out from my capital activity was 3 lakh. That's how the bank balance that was arrived was cash profit plus the available cash balance showing about 11 lakh 8,240. So this is just a reconciliation from the reconciliation point of view, that there were so many numbers that were floating. How did we reconcile everything and made the balance sheet? From that perspective, this is the reconciliation. Okay. Can you go back to the P&L, please? So from this P&L example that we have seen, do we have any more questions?
Not right now. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So this was the basic understanding compilation of the profit and loss statement. I also mentioned as investors or as business leads, we should get a better insight of the business earnings and profits. We have to do a lot of ratio analysis, and each of these elements will represent one or the other. They will talk about a story about the business. We should be able to understand what they are talking about and make informed decisions. I would it would have been much greater session if we could look into the ratio analysis, but I think today's topic that was given was more on the profit and loss, and hence I'm stopping at this profit and loss statement itself. Would look forward for opportunities in coming period wherein we'll get more insight onto the ratio analysis, so that will help business women to look at their profitability, look at their business from different perspective, and make scaled up operations and scaled up decisions.
Kusuma,
And
there
that's
is
it from my side.
there is one interesting question, and I guess many of the entrepreneurs will be interested in that, knowing the
Yeah.
answer. So, can P&L statement show the valuation of a company?
See, valuation itself is a very vast subject. P&L is definitely one of the indicators of the valuation. Now, while explaining the statement of profit and loss, sticking to the same example, I spoke something about EBITDA, earnings before interest, depreciation, and the taxes. I also mentioned that this specific EBITDA is an indicator that most of the bankers would love to see for them to arrive at what is the loan sustainability of this particular business enterprise. In this particular example, I'll just use the example so that you can get a better understanding. In this particular example, we see that 2,33,000 plus 5,75,000 plus 2,70,000. When you do, it's a value of 10,40,000. Now, this 10,40,000 is the earnings, actual earnings of these enterprise, which is available cash flow of the enterprise, which a banker can actually give loan and use it for interest payments, and that can also help certain tax planning. So the question here is whether from P&L you can determine the valuation. Yes, by EBITDA you can determine the valuation. There are comparatives of the statement of profit and loss account from one year to another year. You will also see there is a growth pattern that can be seen from the profit and loss statement, basis which there are forecasts that the investors or a lender will do to arrive at a valuation of the business. Profit and loss account statement is very important and will be most important part for any person to arrive at a valuation. Now, I cannot get into the dynamics of what is the value of this, because there are a lot of other factors
Other
also
things, yeah,
we have to
yeah.
consider to
Yeah.
arrive at the valuation. To answer the question whether P&L indicates a valuation, definitely yes, it is one of the indicator of the valuation. But whether it is the only indicator of the valuation, definitely no. There are other lot of other indicators also which have to be considered while doing a valuation.
Yes. So, Navita, you can continue.
Any more questions? Please type them out. We had a couple of questions which I think you've already answered regarding
EBITDA.
how do we differentiate between an asset and an expense? So
That she did it.
Yeah.
I also put that question in the chat, right? Yeah.
Yes, so that's why I'm not taking it up. If anyone else has any questions, please come forward. I think most of the questions have been taken care of, so we can go ahead.
I guess then, Navita, let's close this.
Okay. Thank you, Kusuma, for a wonderful session. And the statement, basically, profit and loss has been explained very well to most of us who are not.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, TRWGC team, for providing me this opportunity. I do not know how useful it was. Hope
It was
to
very
often
useful,
meet you
Kusuma.
all.
It was very useful.
Your
Thank you.
session was as powerful as your introduction and very well elaborative, explanatory, and enlightening. And for me, this financial year, I really want to dive into, financial insights, because basically women are more engaged into, marketing or the technical and the management thing. So as for this new financial year, this session, I'm sure must have been very, helpful for everyone. So, and and thank you TRWGC for two more initiatives. And we look forward for more, inputs for She Builds. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you once again. Thank you, Shefali ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. Hope it was informative session. That's all
Absolutely.
I will end it at. Thank you.
Absolutely, Kusma. I think you, and I have to say that I was thrown into the deep end of the financial world. Like you rightly said, Alina, that we are mostly involved in marketing, clients, and basically outdoor job. Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
We never look at the back end of our own house. So what Kusma has done for me in the last 7 years or 8 years, I have lost count because it seems like that much more. She has simplified everything for me.
Absolutely.
Right. And by the way, the anecdotal thing is that when I was told during my graduation, and I don't have many degrees, I have one degree, thank God for that. But that one degree, I was told, okay, which field we had to decide. And I ran away from finance. I took marketing, not because I loved marketing, but because I didn't want to take finance. And after 20 years, life did full circle, pushed me into finance. And Kusma has been the greatest teacher for me when it comes to finance. She's been the best professor. So that's Kusma for you. And thank you, Kusma, for taking our time on a Saturday morning and spending with us.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so much. Thank you for a wonderful insights in this P&L statement, understanding it. So we look forward to many more. We'll definitely have another session on the ratios and that sometime during this year. So thank you all. This was all from our side this month, and we look forward to everyone's inputs. And be safe, stay connected, and look to the next interaction again online. I guess it is on in the last week of this month itself. So Madhulika will be coming with it.
Thank you.
Thank
Logging
you
off.
so much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Amita. Thank you, Shefali.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye.
So I
Thank
just
you, everyone.
request the participants of She Guides to stay back because we'll be continuing on the same link.